Good morning, we're back again with another video. Today we're going to be making custom made doors for the custom kitchen that we installed the other day. We built it last week, we installed it the past 2 days, and now we're just making the doors, and then we'll have to spray and finish the doors. Here, there's about 9 sheets. When I measured the doors, we inputted all the math into the computer, and these are the panel measurements, the center panels that I'm going to be cutting. Brandon's over there cutting out all the sticks and the copes, and then once everything's cut, we'll put everything together, glue everything, pin nail everything so it holds, and then once the glue dries, we have to sand it. Then we have to come cut the door down, and then we'll router the door, we'll sand the door, we'll bore the door, and then these doors can get painted tomorrow, which is Friday. They get painted on Monday, and then Tuesday we should be installing these doors, drawer fronts, and drilling all the handles and finishing up that job. I'm gonna start cutting the panels, and then by the time Brandon's done with the coping and the sticking, cutting out the pieces, he'll actually come over to this machine and we'll cope all the pieces. We'll come over here, we'll stick all the pieces. These are the blades that'll cut the Shaker 45 profile into the door, and then we'll start putting it together. So let's cut these panels and move on here. What I'm doing here, so that way then I don't get a lot of waste, is I'm just kind of finding a common size, and it looks like the biggest common size left is these 18.5s. So I'll cut a few strips that are 18.5, and then I'll work my way down from sizes, so that way I just don't get a bunch of waste at the end. I've done 2 full sheets, 2 4 by 8 foot sheets, and this is all the waste I have. So that's super good. So I'm just going to keep on figuring out what I need to cut first and work my way down. The best way is just find a common large size, the biggest size you have left, and just work down to the smaller sizes. So that way at the end, you'll have a few scraps or leftover pieces, and you'll hopefully be able to use those small leftover pieces for the remaining panels. All right, so all the panels have been cut, everything, the copes and the sticks have all been cut out. Now we just have to actually cope and stick the material. So these pieces will be coped and sticked. They're gonna be the top and the bottom part of our doors. They're gonna be the rails. The stiles are over there. They just have to get sticked. So I'm gonna run these through the coping machine, and then the pieces over there are already getting sticked out. Once these are coped, these will get sent over there and get sticked. And then once everything is coped and sticked, we will start putting the cope and the stick and the panel all together with glue and pin nails, let everything set up really well, and then we'll sand everything through the big drum sander, cut everything down, router, sand again, and then bore everything, and it'll be ready for tomorrow. Main thing I'm kind of making sure that I'm doing is I'm making sure the face of the material that we've written on is always down, whether we send it through this way and this way. That way then we don't get messed up with the cope and the stick seating together. And then I'm also going to go slow so we reduce the chance of any breakout or chip out. And yeah, we're just gonna get these all coped, we'll get all those sticked, and then we'll go and start putting everything together. We now have all the doors coped, sticked, and we're starting to put them all together. We're using this machine to clamp everything. That'll square everything up with the glue and the pin nails. Then we're just puttying the seams. They don't really need it, but just to make sure that everything's filled in. And once they set, we'll come over to this sander right here, and we'll sand all the doors down from 13/16 to 3/4. So let's finish putting these doors together, and then we'll sand everything. Putting the doors together over there with spacers in between the panel and the door, so the door can flex a little bit and not crack out. Then we're putting a bunch of glue. I'm just putting it in this machine, making sure it looks square. Clamp it, just square the door up, and then I will just simply pin nail it. These pin nails will just hold the door square until the glue dries. The glue will dry in about 20 minutes. And then, once it's pin nailed, just putty the nail holes. And once it's puttied, we'll just set it on this rack so it can dry. Once all the doors are done, are finished put together, and all the glue is dried, we'll send it through the palm sander over there, knock the thickness down from 13/16 to 3/4, and then we'll go cut the doors down, router the doors, sand the doors, bore the doors. We already have a bunch of these doors cut down, but I still have to do these uppers, this pantry door, and these Lazy Susan doors. The other doors are over here. They've been cut down using the saw stop right there. One of the other guys is routering them currently and puttying them. So routered and puttied, we'll just palm sand them, make sure everything's perfect. Double check the measurements again, because I already made one mistake, so we have to remake that door, but that's fine. And then we'll bore them. All the doors have been cut down. They're all routered, puttied, and now we're just hitting it with some 150 on the palm sander just to make sure everything's perfect. We used to 220 everything, but on stain you don't want a 220. You want a 150 grit because you want the stain to be able to soak in and not mat the fibers down. And when we're painting, we could go 220, but I want that primer to soak in, so that way it adheres super well to the door and we don't get as many chipping issues. So yeah, that's how the door turns out. And now everything's been double checked measurement wise over here on the sheet. We just double checked all of that. We now have all the doors sanded, or most of them. I think there's a few left, but I'm boring the doors so that way then the hinges can be in the doors. We'll take them out and then they'll be ready for tomorrow to be sprayed. I'm just lining it up with the back, set the door, and then the machine will bore the hole. The hinge will go in the hole. I'll do the next one right here, and then we just unscrew those screws, put them in the designated bag that they need to go, and then once that's done, we'll do that to all the doors, and then they'll be ready for spray tomorrow. I believe I've covered this before, but the reason why we put the hinges in now is because then we don't have to hammer them in with a rubber mallet at the home. We're not doing anything on their countertop, we're not damaging a door, nothing's cracking out. The hinges are in, they're set, we know they're great. We just don't have to worry about it. All right, so we got all the doors finished. We got them all bored, sanded, cut down, everything. Here is all of the doors. There's 35 of them. They're dusty right now, but that's okay. They'll all get sent over to our other warehouse tomorrow to get finished. The color is white dove. It'll get sent through the oven, so that way then that product will cure out really well and super hard. Then yeah, tomorrow I think I'm measuring for a kitchen. Some of the other guys are finishing this existing job that we have. These are super dusty, but everything in this basement, we're redoing the entire basement, but it's all black. Here's the finished product. We'll load all these up in the vans tomorrow. They'll go install all of that, and then yeah, we'll be spraying these doors, measuring, installing those doors. I think that's pretty much everything. I'll be working this weekend, getting ready for the next cabinet job that we have. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.